Hello and welcome. How are we all doing? Hope you're all doing well. So this week I thought I'd touch on the whole Disney hotel versus offsite hotel versus villas again. So as some of you know, I've been out to Florida 4 times. I know there are some people that have been out there many more times than that. People that live out there, people that live in Florida, that live in America have been thousands of times, or people in the UK had the opportunity to go once a year, 2-3 times a year. I don't have that opportunity, but this is just a little thing for the beginners again, the ones that have never been out there and are thinking about going. This is my personal opinion of the hotels versus on-site at Disney, off-site of Disney, and the villas. So in 2005, my very first visit to Florida, I stayed in a villa. Cracking place, beautiful. Booked it with first choice. When first choice were there, and there's TUI and there's separate and all that kind of stuff. We went out there with first choice. Stayed in a villa just off the 192, I think it was, down towards sort of, well, I can't remember where it was exactly, but I know there's a Walmart and there's all building new houses around there. The villa was amazing. It was beautiful. Looking back at it, I now think the decor was a bit dated, but we didn't know any better at the time. But to have our own privacy of a villa, the kids each had their own room. We had an ensuite with a humongous bath. It was gorgeous. Had a kitchen, obviously the lounge or living room, whatever you want to call it, and the entrance area, a double garage and a pool that wasn't heated. I wish we'd had the pool heated because we went out in October and the pool was a bit cold. It's a bit like your local Bannatyne's pool. Yeah, we all know the Bannatyne's pools are a bit cold at the moment. They keep turning the bloody temperature down. So that was very cold. The only downside to being in a villa was the travelling time to the theme parks. But again, this was back in 2005. It's probably even worse now. But it was a bit of a trek to Universal. I think it was half hour's drive or something to Universal, which wasn't too sad, I suppose. But it was still a bit of a drive. Driving to Disney, again, bit of a drive, 15-20 minutes from where he was. Trying to think of the road. If I remember, I'll put it in just below here, like the rough area of it. But otherwise, the villa was lovely. We felt like Americans. We was in this typical little American clothes. It wasn't full of other holiday makers. You could see we was sort of in an American kind of area as such, because people had their Halloween decorations out. People come around trick-or-treating, because we went out in October. And yeah, we felt quite at home. It was lovely. Lovely to stay in a villa. So that is my point of a villa. Down the road, we had a Walmart. We had a Publix. We had a McDonald's around the corner as well. And yeah, it's just a very good place to stay. We had everything to hand we needed, but we ate at home a lot to save some money. I went back out in 2012. Stayed at a place called Econo Lodge, which is now Avanti Resort. Econo Lodge was a very budget hotel. I'm not gonna lie, it was atrocious. For those that have stayed at Travelodge and Premier Inn, think of those, but worse, much worse. If you've ever been to Kent and you've been to the Hotel Burston, I think it is, down at Folkes down in the Folkestone area, it's worse than that. It was awful. It was atrocious. But the way we looked at it was, it's somewhere just to sleep. That's all we done. Use it just to sleep, clean up, get out in the parks. That's all the Econo Lodge was used for. That's a very budget hotel. I think I only went in the pool once as well. though we went out there in January, I think that was end of January, February time. So really good time of year to go, because it wasn't overly busy. And yeah, it's a great hotel. That was on iDrive, by the way, I forgot to say. Econo Lodge, or Avanti Resort as it is now. It was just across the road from Point Orlando, so we weren't far, and the Wonder Works, so we weren't far away from iDrive at all. The shops, we was near a Pizza Hut, was near a TGI's, all the iDrive attractions anyway. That's all I'm going to say on that one. It was near everything you needed, as is everything else on iDrive. But the villas, remember, they're normally quite far away. You might have to have a bit of a drive to get to somewhere to eat. Well, stuff on iDrive, you don't normally have to. You can literally walk out your hotel and you'll be there. So 2013, I went back out, trying to think the place I stayed. Enclave Suites, which is just off iDrive. Enclave Suites was another budget hotel, not the budget, but a budget hotel. But it slept. Oh, I think we had 2 rooms, because there's 6 of us that went. I think 5 or 6 of us. Again, great hotel. We did go in the pool, had everything there. Even had a Pizza Hut on site, and the Pizza Hut in there was amazing. Staff were really friendly, really helpful. We had a Chrysler Grand Voyager for a car to use for the week or 2 weeks. And yeah, just a great little hotel that was just off iDrive, opposite TGI Fridays. Across the road from the whole Titanic experience as well. So yeah, great place to stay, just off iDrive. Again, everything nearby. You couldn't complain at staying on iDrive either. Then in 2022, we had the opportunity to stay on site at Disney. I had never stayed on site at Disney, and I told myself, though I really wanted to, I never would do, because I'd never want to stay in another hotel. So I always looked at these Disney hotels as a luxury resort, thought they were all luxury resorts, until I started reading up on them a bit more. In 2022, we stayed in Port Orleans Riverside, which is one of their moderate resorts. To me, it was a luxury resort because it was stunning. It was absolutely beautiful. You walk into the foyer. I think I posted some pictures of it before. Have a look back on the other videos. I'll try and post the links to those down below. Yeah, just absolutely stunning. The rooms are pretty basic, I'm not gonna lie, but they're themed really well. They're, just imagine a Travelodge hotel again, or Premier Inn hotel, but with just that extra little sparkle, like the ones we had, because it was Port Orleans. It was more sort of Tiana Bayou sort of style. We had the crocodile, can't remember his name now, but yeah, it's just stunning. We did go in the pool a few times, went to the pool at Port Orleans French Quarters as well. If you get the chance to have a beignet, imagine a Krispy Kreme donut or Tim Hortons donut if you're a donut connoisseur, but better. I like my donuts. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful to stay at Disney. Then you get the chance to use all the Disney transports to go to the Disney parks. If you want to go to Universal, you've got to get an Uber or drive if you're hiring a car. That's what I forgot to say about iDrive. You can drive to either of the parks, all close proximity. SeaWorld, Universal's just down the road. You've got Disney just across the highway as well, or motorway as we call them over here. That's going back to the iDrive. Again, it's always worth hiring a car when you're in a villa or an iDrive. But when you're at Disney, or maybe even Universal, because we haven't stayed at a Universal hotel yet. But when you stay at Disney, obviously you've got the option to use the buses, the Skyliner at some hotels, at the luxury resorts, the Polynesian, Grand Floridian and the Contemporary. You've got the monorail that take you around to Magic Kingdom. Obviously you've got the Ubers you could use if you really wanted to. You've got boats at some resorts. So you've got the boats at, again, at Polynesian, Beach Club, Fort Wilderness, I think it is. Fort Lodge, I can't remember what it's called now. Grand Floridian, Yacht Club and the Beach Resort, Beach Club Resort. I think it's called the Beach Club Resort. So you've got all kinds, and it's just this little bubble, this little make-believe bubble, and it's beautiful. And now I've stayed on site at Disney, I want to go back to Disney hotels. I think that's why they do it, because it's just got you hooked. So yes, stunning place to stay at a Disney hotel. You get everything there you need. In L1 we had 2 restaurants, I think it is. We had a fairly budget restaurant. We had a nicer luxury restaurant. Never ate in there, unfortunately. Humongous shop. You had little pools. We had little pools scattered around near our rooms. Our rooms are in these little condos, I suppose you'd call them, that was scattered around these smaller pools. But then for each resort, the French Quarter and the Riverside, they had a bigger pool each as well, which was shared between all the rooms. And yeah, just stunning. You get a movie night as well by a pool. We went and saw a movie night. Just the perks of a Disney hotel is just amazing. It's just beautiful. So next time we go, I'd like to stay in a luxury resort. I'd like to do a 3-week stay, in fact. Stay in a budget resort, stay in a moderate resort, and stay in a luxury resort. That's maybe something I can try and do at some point and give my opinion. And I'd like to stay at the Universal Hotel as well, in fact, actually, so I can give my opinion of a Universal versus Disney. I'm a Universal fan as well. I love the ET ride. I think it would be a shame to go to Florida and not go to Universal, at least for 2 or 3 days, just because the ET ride. I love the ET ride. It's just, the smell, the sound, beautiful little ride. Something to take the kids on. Anyway, so I'm hoping at some point I could go out there for 3 weeks, do 1 week in a budget Disney resort, sort of Pop Century, something like that. In a moderate resort, again, Port Orleans, Riverside, Caribbean, Caribbean, I can't pronounce it. And then the luxury resort, maybe the Beach Club, maybe Contemporary again, or even Polynesian, which is Lydia's favourite hotel. That's where Lydia would like to go at some point. So anyway, there we go again. I've jabbered on again. Quick brief. I'll probably try and do another one at some point. We'll try and do another Daz Pass as well at some point, because that's all changed. Not happy, Disney. Type 1 diabetics need a bit of help with that, I think. Share this video so you know to tell Disney to sort it out, because it's a bit unfair. Yeah, so we'll try and sort out another video on a Disney related, Universal related video at some point. So I'm going to go for now, because I'm jabbering on, trying out the new microphone. Hope the sound comes through clear and well, and I'll see you all next Friday. hopefully, if I can think of content. Goodbye.